Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 10 incredible watches for you guys and girls, ranging from an incredible Smith's Jump Hour from the 70s to a Hublot to a Fears to a Pinion to everything you can possibly imagine. And that's what I try and achieve here every single week at Kibble Watches, and it's thanks to you guys and girls that we're able to do that. If you're new here, 9:30 a.m, new watches hit the website as well as this video on YouTube. We take a closer look and you can head over to the website, see all these watches that are in front of us today. You can see all the photos, the price if it's still available, and all those kind of things, and obviously make a purchase. Now before we crack on with the watches on the table, I do want to say some may not be available by the time this video goes out. I believe the Lanco being one of them that may have already sold. This is the only thing we're doing them in advance, which I have to do to obviously keep everything on schedule and on time. Sometimes things sell before then, and there was 13 watches for this drop and now there's 10, so again, watches have sold that would have been in here. But yeah, before we get on with that, what's on wrist? I'm wearing an absolutely crazy watch. This is a Doobie and Shettle brand. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. Triple calendar chronograph reverse, like in the reverse formation, so left-handed, really incredible. Hinge lugs, 41mm exhibition back. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of watch here for the money, and I do have an 18 karat gold, similar but earlier version on the website, and this is now a stainless steel one that can be had. So really, really cool. And again, the value of something like this, I think, is incredible. So that's what's on wrist out of the way. This will be coming to the website probably next week, so keep an eye out for that, unless obviously it's already sold. But now let's crack on. We're going to start with the Hublot. Let's take a closer look at this watch. So starting this week off with a absolutely awesome Hublot Classic Fusion Racing Grey Titanium. So Hublot definitely gets a lot of hate among the watch collecting community, and I have to say it's mostly for very incorrect reasons and from people who haven't handled or experienced Hublot. One of the common criticisms I hear, funny enough, is actually the use of Sellita or ETA for their movements that are rebranded as Hublot, even though it still says Sellita obviously on the underneath the balance where you'd expect it. That is not exclusive to Hublot, and I think people forget that. IWC, Oris, many brands use ETA and Sellita and rebrand and do some modifications. There's nothing wrong with that. So when I hear that as a criticism, it's often a telltale sign of someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, to be honest. So that's just my 2 cents right there. I won't bore you with the reference. This one, incredibly long reference. You can see that really gorgeous grey dial, which absolutely pops with the date at 3 o'clock. And the nice indices, as well as the classic hands and the counterweight with the Hublot logo. Iconic bezel and case design, which has almost an integrated strap fitting, as you can see. Signed Hublot crown at 3 o'clock, and a very nice leather and rubber strap configuration with a push button clasp, again with the Hublot logo right there. Exhibition case back, as you can see, with a skeletonized rotor. And that is an automatic Sellita SW300-1, and this watch is from July 2021 with this box and paperwork. It has been worn, but it's not been absolutely battered or abused. It's ready to be enjoyed. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. Here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, very comfortable and very good looking. This is 42mm by 50mm lug to lug, 9.5mm on the thickness and 22mm at the lugs. I would say give Hublot a chance on the wrist. Come in, book an appointment, try it on for yourself and see what you think. With the titanium of this one, it's incredibly light, and the integrated strap, it just hugs the wrist, as you can see. Really comfortable. So go check this one out on the website today. From a Hublot to an Amega Specialties Edition. This is the Olympic Seamaster Chronograph from 2007. Really cool with the Olympics logo on the counterbalance. Nice big red Amega logo. Really cool watch, actually. So let's take a closer look. Now we have an Amega Seamaster Chronograph for the Olympics, a model you actually really don't see often. This is the reference 2896.51.91, and the specific one is from February 2007 with its full box and paperwork, and had a Amega service not too long ago as well. And the thing I really like about this model, regardless of if you're a fan of the Olympics or not, is other than that counterweight, you wouldn't really know it's an Olympics model. And you have that big, bold red Amega logo, which really contrasts against the black, and this fitted black rubber strap, which is super comfortable, and I think really sort of elevates the watch. As you can see, helium escape valve at 10 o'clock, pushers and screw down crown. The pushers aren't screw down, so you can just use them as so. Dates hidden away at 6 o'clock, and I think nicely incorporated, and red chronograph second hands, which I think really works and again elevates the design. As we flip it over, you'll see Amega official timekeeper with the Olympic rings right there, proudly stated on the case back, and inside's an automatic Amega caliber 3303. As I say, February 2007, full box and paperwork, and that is the correct Olympics box it comes with as well, which is great, and it's also Olympics booklet, so it's got everything. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. This is obviously on the bigger side and thicker side, but it's a big, cool Seamaster, so you'd sort of expect that. Really nice buckle on this one as well. I'm a big fan of this strap. I think it's super comfortable and looks great on the watch. But here we go. So dimensions for this one are 41.5mm by 48.5mm lug to lug, so actually quite compact lug to lug for the size. 15mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lug, so you could swap this out for all kinds of straps, but as I say, I think this fitted rubber is definitely the look. So go check this one out on the website today. Now from there to a watch that's perfect for someone who is born in the year 2000. You're going to be 24, already are 24, or going to be 24 this year, which is crazy that the year 2000 was that long ago. This is an Amega Speedmaster reduced on a strap, and it comes with its box and paperwork, fresh from the service as well. So let's take a closer look. Now for the classic Amega Speedmaster automatic or reduced, there's sort of two names for it. Reduced meaning the reduced size, because this is 39mm, and automatic in reference to the fact that this is an automatic Speedmaster, whereas the professional range is manually wound. So yes, and this has the classic black dial with the numerals on the inside of the loom battens, as you can see, and the sort of classic layout you'd expect from a Speedmaster. This is the reference 3510.50.00, and when most people refer to the reduced, this is often the reference and the configuration they're talking about. As I said in the intro to this one's from November 2000 with its box and paperwork, so a great opportunity for anyone born in the year 2000 to pick yourself up a really cool watch that is a birth year. Crown and pusher on the 3 o'clock side, as you'd expect. Snap-on case back with the Speedmaster logo, serial number stated right there, and inside is Amega, automatic Amega caliber 3220, which is essentially a automatic module with automatic movement with a chronograph module. That is why, for those of you that don't know, when you have a module chronograph, often the pushers are not level with the crown, as you can see, and that's because that chronograph module is sat atop the automatic movement underneath, so hopefully that will make sense. Got it paired on this nice black strap, which I think really suits it, and yeah, not a huge amount more to say on this. If you like the Speedmaster but find it a bit big or want something a bit smaller or automatic, this is definitely something to consider. So let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. You can see that looks really great. There used to be a time where this is the size I would wear, and I couldn't wear, or at least I felt like I couldn't wear, the full-size Speedmaster. I felt it was too big for me, but as I've certainly put on the pounds after having children and getting married and getting comfortable, I can now pull off much bigger watches than I used to. But this is a really great piece. So this is, in terms of dimensions, 39mm by 44.5mm, lug to lug, 11.5mm on the thickness and 18mm at the lug, so endless options, and you can still find the bracelets for these models out there, and I think there are some aftermarket options as well. So go check this one out on the website today. From there over to a now surprisingly discontinued Fears Brunswick 40 automatic, so this is the blue dial, discontinued. They're no longer making it, and they did a very short run with the original blue on the 38 as well. So I have no idea how many they produce, but I can guarantee it won't be a lot. So let's take a closer look at this one. For a Fears Brunswick, this is the newer model, the 40mm automatic with a screw down crown, compared to the 38mm, which is manually wound and a push-pull crown. So they definitely stepped up the game with the automatic and the larger size, and this has that beautiful two-tone blue dial with the applied Arabic numerals, which really pop. Quite hard to capture, but in person they really shimmer, especially the hands as well, as they're faceted. It just works really well, and the counterbalance on that second hand is lovely as well. As you can see, England and Fears, that is all it says on the dial. Really simple, really nice, especially with such a big dial. It just draws your eyes in to the colour more than anything. And as I said, this is now discontinued, so they won't be producing any more of these. This is the reference BS24000A, and it's from May 2024 with its full box and paperwork. As I say, signed screw down crown at 3 o'clock, and it comes on this really nice bracelet by Fizz, which has a beautiful design on the inside, as you can see. This still has the sticker on the case back, and inside there is an automatic ETA 2824-2, so a workhorse ETA that you would expect from Fizz, to be honest. A very good and affordable movement, all things considered, and the bracelet definitely looks at home on the watch. But the great thing is, at 20 mil, 20 mil, you can really play around with what is going to look good on this. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, paired on my 7-inch wrist. You can see very, very good proportions. I do personally prefer the 38 mil on my wrist, but I think the 40 mil looks completely fine and really, really good, especially on the bracelet. I would have the 38 on a strap and the 40 on a bracelet. I think that's how I would go about it myself. But this is 40 mil by 46 mil lug to lug, 12 mil on the thickness and 20 mil on the lug. So endless options, and Fizz offer some wonderful straps on their website as well. So go check this one out on our website today. From there over to a Pinion Neutron. This is the galvanic black 38 mil automatic. A lot of you know I have the red version. I absolutely love it, and this is a really, really great watch, especially for the money. It's ridiculous. So let's take a closer look at that one. This is the awesome Pinion Neutron, and this is the galvanic black with that gorgeous guilloche pattern in the center and that sort of concentric finishing on the second bit of the dial there with the applied numbers. Big, bold, luminescent hands, pinion stated above the 12 o'clock, which I think is quite nice and interesting, drawing your eyes into sort of like all the dial rather than the branding. As I say, this is the Neutron reference, and it is the 38 mil, which I think wears beautifully on the wrist. Pinion is known for much bigger watches typically. This is on the smaller side for them, and I think it's perfect. Inside, behind this very nicely decorated caseback, is an automatic ETA 2824-2, a workhorse movement used by many brands, and as I say, quite affordable, and it's what makes this watch just over £1,000 retail and under £1,000 obviously on the secondary market. And this one's from April 2024 with its full box and paperwork, as well as 2 pinion straps paired on this sort of vintage grey, which I think is the same strap on my Pinion, but I might be wrong on that. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, as you can see, comfortable and at home, but then that comes as no surprise as the owner of one of these, but in the red colour. So this is 38 mil by 45.5 mil lug to lug, 10.5 mil on the thickness and 20 mil at the lug. So endless options, but this comes with 2 straps for you to choose from. So go check it out on the website today. Now from there to an Orus Aquis. This is the Dat Watt limited edition in 43.5 mil, limited to 2009 pieces. Really cool with a tungsten bezel. Let's take a closer look at this one. For the amazing Oris limited edition, this is the Dat Watt limited edition. And what I will do, rather than talking about all of the what it's in reference to in terms of the limited edition, you can see that over at the website. We talk a bit more about that there, as well as the Oris website. They have all those details. But in terms of the nuts and bolts of this watch, you can see it's a 43.5 mil with this most beautiful dial right there with the northern hemisphere tidal ranges, I believe, on the dial. Please forgive me if I'm wrong with that. And you can see you've got an extra hand, and that is in that can be adjusted independently to set your tidal waves, I believe. Again, please read the website for the full details. I'm not as clued up as I should be on the spot with a lot of these things, and for those of you who don't know, I don't script these or anything like that. I shoot them on the spot, and we have all the write-ups with all the extra details on the website. Date down at 6 o'clock and a tungsten bezel, which is absolutely gorgeous in this grey tone, which I think really works against that multi-blue of the dial, which actually fades to grey down at the bottom there. Integrated 3-link bracelet, which looks fantastic, and a push button clasp where you can see that very nice case back right there. Oris are known for doing their quirky limited editions, and oftentimes part of the contribution, or they make partly a contribution of the profits towards whatever it is they're doing a limited edition for, which is always nice to see. This is limited to 2009 pieces, and inside is an automatic Oris caliber 761, and this is from December 2021 with its full box and paperwork. Really good looking watch, regardless of your connection with what this is a limited edition too. For me, it's just the aesthetics are that good. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. Here we go. On my 7-inch wrist, the 43.5mm is the full size. It's a big watch, but it does wear really well because it's a super short lug to lug, so keep that in mind. And I'm really drawn to the dial on this, I think, because it almost gives me like a geometric pattern, very sort of the golden ratio, Vitruvian man, all that kind of stuff. I think it looks really, really cool. So this is 43.5mm by 50mm, lug to lug, 13.5mm at on the thickness, sorry, and 12.5mm at the inner bit of the lugs, protruding out, and obviously integrated strap. So go check this one out on the website today. Another limited edition Oris, this time the Oris Lake Bal, or Baikal. I'm butchering it. I always butcher pronunciations. If you've watched this long enough, you'll be well aware. So this is the 43.5mm, limited to 1,999 pieces. As always with these Oris, great case backs and a great story behind them. So let's take a closer look. Now for another wonderful Orus Aquis limited edition, and as I said, I butchered the pronunciation in the intro, so you can go back and listen to that and have a laugh if you want. But a really nice ceramic blue bezel with that beautiful sort of sunburst dial, which really protrudes out to sort of emulate the lake itself. Date down at 6 o'clock. 3-link integrated bracelet, push button folding clasp, and a very attractive case back. As always with these Oris limited editions, I was trying to combine all the words together then. So this is limited to 1,999 pieces. Oris have really long references, so you can go see that on the website. But inside behind that case back is an automatic Oris caliber 733, which is a Solita based movement, and the watch is from October 2021 with its full box and paperwork. Both Orises come with their correct limited edition box. They have the limited edition on the inside. You can see all the additional photos as well under the points of mention on the listing if you are interested. But for me, again, regardless of the limited edition, which is always great and always interesting to read, they come with a book about it, so nice little reading in there. But for me, aesthetically, they do wonderful watches, and the limited editions are always that little bit quirkier like this one. I think it just looks brilliant. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. This is the perfect color combination for holiday, in my opinion. That blue is wonderful. So this is 43mm by 50mm lug to lug, 13.5mm on the thickness, and 12.5mm on the integrated inner part, protruding out and obviously tapering down to the clasp. So go check this one out on the website today. From there to a really beautiful gold-capped IWC Catra Automatic from 1952 with the most beautiful original dial and tritium throughout as well. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now for a really wonderful IWC Calatrava with the automatic IWC caliber 852, which is used across a few of the ranges of models and is a slight deviation to the 851, and these movements were also used in the original engineers, so very cool to see. And again, I can't believe how early this watch is, circa 1952, and you can see that original dial was aged beautifully. As I move the hands out of the way, you can actually see some of the burn on the dial from the luminescent material, where it probably sat in that position for many, many years. And we see that every now and again on watches where hands have been left in the same position over 10, 20 or so years, and it burns the dial. Kind of amazing really how that happens, and it leaves this really interesting sort of sign of originality, which I really like. Beautiful loom pips throughout and beautiful dagger indices which are applied. Just overall, this is a really attractive watch with the old school long International Watch Company logo for IWC right there. Automatic proudly stated, and it even has its original fish crown, which you do not see often. Really strong gold capped case, so this is like a big layer of gold over a sort of stainless steel shell. And you can see a plain snap-on case back. Photos on the website to see inside there. The movement is crystal clean. Long reference to this one, so I won't bore you, can go see it on the website. But as I say, the highlights here are one, definitely the originality. The gold capping, because it makes it far more affordable than a full gold version. A full gold version of this watch with this original dial would be a hell of a lot of money, to be honest. And the fact is circa 1952. Really, really cool. And I love the looks, how they protrude off the case. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. This is a watch I would very happily wear regularly. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. The proportions are really nice as well at 34mm by 41mm lug to lug, only 10.5mm on the thickness, and 18mm at the lug width with drilled lug holes to make strap changing nice and easy. Got on this really nice high quality watch gecko strap that does need breaking in, so be warned when you buy it. You're gonna have to wear it in, but yes, go check this one out on the website today. From there to a Lanco Fun Alarm watch. This is sort of got fancy lugs, 36mm, really cool thing with an alarm, and we'll talk about how to use it as well. So let's take a closer look at this. Now on to a really interesting, likely already sold by the time this this drop goes out, 1960s Lanco Fun Alarm. Really cool with this fancy case, 36mm in chrome with a nice snap-on case back. Inside there is a manually wound Lanco caliber 1241, a quite well used movement in the Lanco Fun range, but also a couple of other brands use this movement because it's a very clever alarm movement. You can see you've got your normal hour and minutes, a bright red second hand which would match with this nice red strap, and a blue tipped alarm. So how do you use this watch? And it's very important to know how to use it. The person who buys this, I will send over the instructions because you want to make sure you follow them, because you don't want to break this movement and they can be a little bit sensitive. So let's go through it whilst we're here together. When the crown is in the neutral position, this is when you can do a few things. Winding 12 o'clock, so the way you'd normally wind a watch, winds the alarm. So the alarm has a separate mainspring. So winding forward gives the alarm the charge. As you can see, we'll charge it all the way, and then winding 6 o'clock winds the watch. Now, I've already wound the watch, so that won't go any further. But what you can do is turn the alarm on and off. So if you look above 12, you'll see a little circle, and right now there's nothing in it. That's because I wound 6 o'clock way. If I push to the 12 o'clock way, you will see it's now got a little red circle. That means the alarm is activated. So again, to deactivate, you just go 6 o'clock, like so. To activate, go 12 o'clock, and you can see it now activates it. Now to change the alarm, so the alarm time, you pull out one position as if you're in a date change, and going clockwise, you'll see it rotates backwards. Hopefully you can see that. You can't go the other way, it doesn't work. And then when you pull out the time, you can only go one way as well, which is anti-clockwise. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you overshoot your time, you're going to have to go around again. But let me show you the alarm now we're activated. So there you go. Essentially, there is a hammer inside, and that hammer is beating away, making that noise. You do feel it vibrate on the wrist. And again, to turn off the alarm, just rotate backwards like so. So now that alarm will not go off, even if there's charge in the alarm. Hopefully that will make sense. Let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, very cool watch, very nice proportions as well, at 36.5mm by 45.5mm lug to lug, only 12mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lug. So endless options for straps on this one. If you think my red is a bit too bright, you can swap it out. So go check it out on the website today. And last but by no means least, a Smith's digital jump hour from the 70s with a blue dial, chrome case, really cool little thing, and great value for money. Under £300 you can get this. I mean, talk about unapologetically 70s, Smith's being a British brand, this obviously the Swiss-made counterpart, but yeah, really cool. Let's take a closer look. So the final watch in this week's drop, and for those of you that know me, you know I love these Smith's jump hours, and this is actually one from the personal collection. I have a few, and this is the only one that doesn't get any wear, unfortunately, so I thought I'd let it go and let someone enjoy it. Now, as you can see, it's got this really nice blue dial with the red and the digital display right there. So essentially how it works, it's manually wound, so you wind it up as you normally would, and when you pull out the crown, I would recommend going clockwise to set the time, not anti-clockwise, because the movement doesn't particularly like it. Going clockwise, as you get past the hour, you can see the hour jumps over to 2:40, 3 and 3:30. Nice and simple, that's how it works. Now obviously something to mention, and inside here is a manually wound EB caliber 8800. It's used in a lot of these jump hour movements. They're good movements, but they're not the best, so don't expect really incredible timekeeping with something like this. Wear it for the enjoyment of what it is. Obviously, it will still tell the time and it still be on time. It won't be incredibly accurate, so keep that in mind. But it's a reference 1141, and it is a chrome case, so you have got some wear on the case back where NATOs have been worn against it. And it does also have someone's name scratched in there, which is hard to actually capture. There you go, I think it says Andy. So this was Andy's watch at some point. I've had it for quite a while, so God knows when that was done. And the original crown as well has got some signs of wear, as you can see, but a really fun watch. And circa 1970s, as I said. And I've actually paired it on a nice high quality pinion strap. The strap doesn't fit the watch perfectly, but it gives it a good enough fit. And to be honest, I think it looks really cool and suits the watch. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And there we go on my 7-inch wrist. Very, very comfortable, very good looking at 42mm by 40mm lug to lug. Only 10mm on the thickness and 24mm at the lugs. This is definitely one of those really quirky watches, unapologetically 70s. So if you're a fan of this kind of stuff, this is a great value and a great pickup. So go check it out on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls. This week's drop, something truly for everyone. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite in this week's drop? And for me, I think it has to be this gorgeous 1952 IWC. It's just an incredible example, really wonderful on the wrist. I absolutely love it. Close second, I mean, probably the Oris. I love every watch. As I say, every single drop, I can make a case for each single watch because I choose them for the website. So of course I love them all. But for me, that IWC takes the Clark and Well, apologies about the noise. Takes the award from me this week. So let me know down in the comments what does for you, and we'll see you all again next week. Take care.